We all know that the sun does not actually rise or set. It is always there, up in the sky 24/7. The rotation of the earth makes it appear to us that the sun rises and sets. Moreover, we perceive sunrise and sunset at every location on the earth. Let's see what the miraculous Qur'an, which has no error whatsoever and is filled with amazing scientific knowledge, has to say about this issue. Quran mentions about a curious character called Dhul-Qarnain, whom Allah guided and made him witness the miracles of sunrise and sunset. And they ask you, O Muhammad, about Dhul-Qarnain. Say, I will recite to you about him a report. Verily, we established his power on earth, and we gave him the ways and the means to all ends. So it was not Google Map guiding Dhul-Qarnain. He had an even better travel guide, the all-knowing Allah, who granted him access to everything. So he followed a way until when he reached the setting place of the sun. Hence, according to the Quran, one can physically reach the setting place of the sun. He found it setting in a spring of black, muddy or hot water, like this. Well, you know, the sun works very hard during the day. As a reward, he gets a good hot spring spa treatment in the night. Now, even a kid understands that this verse is a blatant error and therefore can single-handedly destroy the Quran's divine origin claims. No wonder this verse makes Muslim apologists extremely uncomfortable. Hence, recent Quran translations have tried their best to save Allah's ass by adding an as if in brackets. Now, if a simple verse like this is unclear, the meaning of the extremely simple word found has to be reinterpreted. Then doesn't this make the entire Quran fall apart? Because the Quran is meant to be a clear book with detailed explanations so that people can benefit from it? Anyways, this verse is actually quite clear, and if you go by the word-by-word morphology, there is no such as if. Unfortunately, the addition of as if still cannot save Allah's ass, since the verse mentions that Dhul-Qarnain physically reached the setting place of the sun. And let's not forget, his travel guide was the all-knowing, all-wise Allah. Moreover, the fact that Dhul-Qarnain physically reached the setting place of the sun is further corroborated by the conversation Dhul-Qarnain had with Allah in surahs 1886 to 88 regarding whether to punish the people living nearby. Let's read Sunan Abi Dawud 4002. I was sitting behind the messenger of Allah, who was riding a donkey while the sun was setting. He asked, "Do you know where this sets?" I replied, "Allah and his apostle knows best." He said, "It sets in a spring of warm water." So the hadith corroborates the Quran, and as you can see, this is an authentic hadith. Tafsir of Al-Jalalain also corroborates the sun setting in a muddy spring narrative, and so does the tafsir of Muhammad's cousin Ibn Abbas. This verse is a blatant mistake in the Quran, and Muslims need to suck it up. Let's now read the following verses. Then he followed away till when he reached the rising place of the sun. He found it rising on a people for whom we had appointed no shelter therefrom. So, Dhul-Qarnain also physically reached the rising place of the sun. Let's summarize what we have learned from the glorious, miraculous Qur'an. The Almighty, all-knowing Allah was the travel guide of Dhul-Qarnain. Dhul-Qarnain physically reached the setting place of the sun. He found the sun setting in a muddy spring. He also found people living nearby, and Allah asked Dhul-Qarnain to judge over these people. Dhul-Qarnain gave his responses to Allah. Dhul-Qarnain also traveled and reached the rising place of the sun and found people living nearby. These verses are arguably the most obvious errors in the Quran. I have given multiple evidences in my previous videos about Muhammad recycling popular myths, and this one is most likely not an exception. Poor Mo heard fairy tales, believed them blindly, and inserted them in his holy book as per convenience. Anyways, without any shred of doubt, these verses prove that the Quran is the brainchild of an ignorant 7th century desert dweller who thought that there are two specific physical locations on the earth, one where the sun rises and the other where the sun sets. Checkmate Allah, rest in peace. And I sincerely urge Muslims to wake up.